Hello everyone, Yalak again, Thursday, January 5th, 2017. I want to talk about maintaining or continuing with what you're doing. You're working according to what's in your heart to do for the Most High and also towards your goals in life. A lot of times people get distracted, they get thrown off course, something knocks them off the path. And life is just like that, and you gotta work towards getting up again. Sometimes it takes you a long time, even years, to get up because you've been injured, might I say. But what you need to keep in mind is that no matter what it is, if something is really in your heart, you have to get back to doing that. Maybe sometimes we feel the emptiness in life way more than we should because we're not doing what's in our heart. If you're feeling something real strong in your heart and you know you're following the instructions of the Most High, you're learning Torah, you're putting it into practice, and you're doing your best to live it, and you're just not being fake about life anymore, not being fake about yourself and so on, then you're going to find eventually, as you learn to be yourself and as you learn Torah and as you learn to consider properly the scriptures, that things become more clearer, right? And you're going to learn after a while that some of the things that you're finding in your heart, especially the real strong things that you subject to Torah and to put it in prayer with the Most High, you're considering it very well. Maybe you talk to people around you who care about you and so on. You're going to find that those things are the real things in your heart that you need to nurture and let them grow. That's going to let you become you. The you really want to be, the you the Most High is causing you to be or calling you to be through life, right? So you got to pay attention to those feelings. Sometimes we just look to externals for, the direction that we should go. And we forget that there's a whole world inside our heart that the Most High put there for a reason. All right? So you got to continue with what's in your heart, right? Maintain that course and stay with it. I want to read here something quickly to show us something about the life of David. If you look in 1 Samuel chapter 18, and the earlier part of this chapter is talking about David getting a lot of accolades, a lot of praises, coming back from war, and his name is being mentioned a lot and so on. And we know Saul didn't quite like that because they were singing the praises of David. Then verse 9 now of 1 Samuel chapter 18 says, "And Saul eyed David from that day and forward." So it wasn't just enough for that day, but forward, so he was going to carry it on. You see, in order to do the evil that was in his heart toward David, he maintained it. So it doesn't only say he eyed him that day alone, but it says, and forward. So if he is maintaining evil to see the evil through, then how much more you, right? If you want to see your good come to pass, the dreams you have in your heart and so on, and what you want to do in your own life, and also for the Most High's work, you got to maintain it, carry it forward. Not just think of it today and do something about it today, but forward tomorrow and the next day and the next day and so on. And you're going to find that as you work towards these things in your life, a lot of your fears are going to start to seem smaller and smaller, because as you go forward, you will learn by putting these things into practice and lining them up with Torah and so on, seeing what Torah says and, trusting the Most High. You're going to learn that the things that you have feared all along seem smaller and smaller more manageable. Sure, you're going to have some stronger challenges, but you are going to learn through the smaller challenges that you learn to overcome, that the bigger one that seemed so great years ago now look a little smaller, and you got to work on that still. But as time goes on, it gets even smaller and smaller, right? So instead of living in fear over a big thing, learn to move forward, conquering the smaller challenges, and you will lessen your fear because you'll realize, I got over that, right? And I was thinking just last week, why am I fearing this next trouble I have to face when I got through all the other ones that the Most High helped me through over all the years gone by that I thought were so difficult to handle? Some things I thought I could never handle this. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. And I did. So why am I worrying so much about the next problem that's about to come or that I'm facing? I only need to remind myself that the Most High saw me through it again, and that's going to help me lessen my fears in life. Verse 10, and it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from the Most High came upon Saul. Right? So it's letting you know that it's like he got in this frenzy, like, people possessed, like by what you would call an evil spirit, right? Like a false prophet and so on, and they're having their seances and whatever, and they start being taken over. He gets possessed by evil. So it says an evil spirit from the Most High came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house. So keep in mind now, an evil spirit, and it says from the Most High, came upon Saul, and what did he do with evil? He prophesied. So he got into a fanatic state over the evil that he purposed toward David from that day forward. So he became intoxicated with the evil that was in him. If a man can do that over the evil that's in his heart, how much more should you be intoxicated with the good and the dreams that you have in your heart, the things you want to do in your own life, the goals you have set that you really want to reach, the things you want to overcome in your life, and the things you want to do for the Most High to bring the kingdom back, right? And to teach people the law of the Most High, show them the true and the right way, the only way that leads to life. How much more should you be intoxicated with the good of that? But instead, we leave off of these things, and so it seems evil just flourishes more because people can do their evil so easily, it seems. But what we're not keeping in mind is that the people doing the evil all over the earth, they get carried away with it. They're breathing it in, ingesting it, thinking of it, meditating on it day and night, every day. And we start to think something good about the dreams that we have, the goals that we've set, and we get discouraged after a few days, a week or two goes by, and we leave off and we're doing something else. We've changed course. By the time you know it, 6 months have passed and you're trying to pull out that book again that you were taking your notes in to review your plans again as to what you said you were going to do, and realize 6 more months have passed and you didn't do anything toward it. Try to do something every day towards what you really want, and your fears in life will lessen. Right? So this evil spirit came upon Saul and he prophesied, right? So he got, to say prophesy, that means he got into it, in the knit and grit, the essence of what it was to be evil, to carry out evil. He got connected with it. You got to get connected with that which will drive you and motivate you to go after the things you want in your life and towards trusting the Most High. When those thoughts come that make you feel negative about your situation, negative about what has just happened, negative again tomorrow and the next day, you are being carried away by the things in life that are designed to distract you. And that's how you're going to fail at what you're trying to do. right? Because there's always something that's coming after you to distract you, to take you away. And that's when your fear increases and grow again, because you're not working properly towards what you want in life and towards what you want to do for the Most High, to express His truth on the earth. The Most High is looking for people to express His truth. Right? That's why He has representatives on the earth. That's why He chose the nation Israel, right? To teach the other nations the right way to live and who the Creator really is. Right? And so you got to keep that in mind, that these things that come and you start to right away feel negative, oh, that didn't work out. You got to shake yourself, wake yourself up, and realize that that was just a way to get me distracted, to get me sad again, to let my fear build up again, to take away my confidence and my trust in the Most High and in life and my movement in life. Right? There's always something that's going to come, that's going to switch and change on you and try to steer you down, steer you back, steer you down and steer you back into the place of fear, where you're stagnant and not moving again. Just like Saul was steering down David. In verse 9 I read already, it says, and Saul eyed David from that day and forward. There's always something coming after you. As you move forward with your goals, with your plans, it moves forward as well to try to pull you back, pull you down. You got to keep the moving. You got to keep the maintaining. You got to keep continuing with your goals, right? And your fears will lessen. The Most High will help you. And so the evil spirit came upon Saul, and he prophesied, to put some power into it, in the midst of the house. Here he is using evil to prophesy in the midst of the house where dreams are. In the midst of the house where a warrior is, who just got all kinds of praises and accolades. The midst of the house where a mighty man, David, who the Most High taught his hands to war, he said, which is what gave him his victories. And such a man in that house, and this man prophesies with evil in the presence of all of that. But what did David do? It says, and David played with his hand, right? So you got to see that it does not matter what's coming in to distract you today, what's going to come to challenge you again tomorrow, what's going to wake itself up and multiply itself to make you fear some more next week, to grip you, try to strangle you some more. An old problem will come up that just won't go away. Whatever negativity, those problems and difficulties and fears prophesy in your house, in your life, in your mind, you must continue to play out that trust and that confidence in the studying you've done, in the preparation you've made for your goals, in the educating and gaining more knowledge of your goals and what you want to go, the path you're on, and in your trust in the Most High. You have to still maintain that, right? Play through it, go through it, keep steady, moving through it. David wasn't so distracted by Saul's evil, prophetic, maniacal frenzy so that he would stop playing before the Most High, because David was worshiping the God who gave him the victories and the successes he was having, right? David put his trust in the Most High, and so he was praising the power that gave him the strength to get through every trouble in his life. And so he prophesied the evil in the midst of the house where David was playing. But instead of stopping and being distracted and giving into fear of what was going on, David didn't stop. It says, and David played with his hand. The same way he was playing with his hand before, when things were fine, when he was out tending the sheep, or when he was out musing while the fire burned, when he was out doing whatever, when he was praising the Most High. The same way David continued to play with his hand, as at other times. So when the trouble comes to you to grip you with even more fear, to multiply your fear upon you that you have already lessened by you trusting in the Most High and practicing better behaviors, better way to live, you got to still continue. as at other times, to be trustful in the Most High and trust in your studying, trust in your increasing knowledge of the path that you are taking in life. And it says, as at other times, and there was a javelin in Saul's hand. So when David did not give into the fear of the evil that was in the presence of the house, that was being spoken in the presence of the house, to the fear of whatever bill collectors are coming after you, to the fear of losing your house again, to the fear of another broken down car, to the fear of the friends walking away from you, to the fear of the family that locks you out. When he is in the midst of the fear of all those things that are prophesying negativity and defeat into his ears in the midst of the house, and David does not give into the prophecies of that fear, then the javelin comes in to ramp up the pressure, because you're not giving into the fear, you're not giving into the fear of the prophecy, you're not giving into the fear of the threatening words. So I'm going to use a weapon against you now. The javelin comes into the picture to threaten the very life out of you. So let's read it again. The evil spirit comes upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David still played with his hand, I put in the word still, as at other times. And there was a javelin in Saul's hand. Why? Because the words did not move David off course. Still playing with the Most High with his hands. Verse 11. So now Saul has to ramp up the pressure, because David praying and maintaining and continuing praising the Most High, worshiping with sweet music the Most High, is affected Saul. So Saul increases the pressure, and Saul cast the javelin, for he said, I will smite David even to the wall with it. And David avoided out of his presence twice. You see, for me, that twice there matches. You see, this Bible is awesome, you know. It says here in verse 9, and Saul eyed David from that day and forward. So it's giving you a kind of twice, a two-time kind of thing, that is not just that day, but he repeats it, right? Forward. He eyed David from that day and forward. So he's continuing it. So the Most High is showing the overcoming power, that the one who praises him and does not get distracted by negativity and fear, that one will be able to repeat victories in their life, to repeat overcoming in their life. So as Saul did it that day and forward, the Most High allowed David to escape and avoid out of Saul's presence twice. So if you give in to your trust in the Most High instead of your fear of life, the Most High is going to give you that twice, or that repetition in victory after victory. And you're going to do it when you don't give in. And hear what verse 12 says now. And Saul was afraid of David. The Saul who was eyeing him was afraid of David, because the Most High was with him and was departed from Saul. Even Saul could tell that the Most High was with David. And all those troubles you've been through, and all the people who switched on you, and all the things that damaged your life, the Most High is with you. And even people around you, if you give it the time that the Most High is using to work changes into your life, they're all going to see that the Most High gave you your victory twice, that the Most High lifted you out of that situation, and he's going to take you through it. When you learn to manage your fear, to lessen it, to squash it, to bring it down, that fearful problem you have, that troubling situation, that's not to destroy you, but destroys you when you remain fearful. But when you become faithful and you grow in more faithfulness and more trust and more confidence, that's where you grow into overcoming power and victory, and you move through life, right? Psalm 46 verse 2, therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed. Now you picture this, some massive earthquake coming on, the earth being moved, all kinds of things, are happening. Everybody who can stand around you with their trust in evil are going down. But though the earth be removed and the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, your whole world is changing. Your whole life structure is being turned upside down, however you want to say it. Everything you have known, the stability you have trusted in, everything you have leaned on is being cast into the midst of the sea. Though the waters thereof be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof, there is a river. So no matter what's being taken from you, no matter what's going down in your life, if you don't give into your fear, but you keep and maintain and grow your trust in the Most High, when everything is removed from you, there is a river. And rivers and oceans, seas were used in ancient times to deal with life. Like they talk about the Nile River, societies would stay around the Nile because they wanted the water. There is a river that's going to keep you going through that time. See, the Most High, He always keeps His people who trust in Him fed and protected. He keeps them through. Doesn't mean they don't go through trouble. Elijah was running from this whole situation with Jezebel, right? Elijah was running, but he was still provided for. He could still eat from a bird that would feed him and from a brook. And when the brook dried up, he was still taken care of. See, he was going through the drying up of the resources that even the Most High gave to him. And you feel the Most High blessed me, but now it's drying up. The Most High is only telling you it's time to move to the next level of trust in Him, where you trust in the presence of something that's prophesying doom and defeat in your house, where you trust like Elijah in the presence of that which prophesies the drying up of the brook, where you trust like Elijah in the presence and the knowledge of a bird that no longer visits to drop the bread. Because what? It's not the Most High trying to destroy you. The Most High is telling you it's time to move, because there is a widow woman at Zarephath that's waiting for you to show up. You got to move to the next level of getting your supplies by a bird and by a brook Cherith, to going and being the one who's going to be the miracle, who now provides for the next person, the widow woman at Zarephath. Elijah could have stayed receiving the blessings from the bird and from the waters at the brook, but he became an even greater and more magnificent blessing when he moved on from that situation that was a drying up kind of blessing to going to a woman who he still ended up receiving from, but could not turn around and give out some blessings. As long as he stayed with the bird and the brook, he only got blessings. He only got preservation as he continued to be fed and to eat. But he could not share that with anyone. But when he moved on from that bad situation into another bad situation where there was a woman that didn't have enough to feed the whole town, to feed even him and her, then he says, from the lack that you have, there's not even enough to feed you and your son continually. Feed me. From your lack, feed me. From your lack of miracle, feed me. And I'll give you a miracle that lets you know you had more than enough with the little you have. When you trust in the Most High deeply, strongly, with the resolve that says there is nothing else, no one else but the Most High who can provide for me in any situation, you will see that the Most High moves you into a place of more miracles. And sometimes we just need to see that when we let go of our fears, there is another kind of a great and powerful miracle, that in a time of a brook drying up, there is still some movement that you can make. You can move on no matter what has been removed from your life. No matter what resources has come out of your life, you can still move on to the next place of a miracle and a blessing in your life. Though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, where you will never see it again. You will never see that money again. You will never see that business again. You will never see that support again. You will never find those same friends again. But the Most High has more waiting for you that's greater than. Your life isn't over. If you trust the Most High strongly, is just getting ready to start it. Look at Israel. We went into captivity and they laugh at us. Is this Israel? Is this the people of the Most High? But our end will be greater, as the Most High says. He will gather us from all nations where we have been scattered and make a great nation. We're going to be greater than ever before. When people like Elijah and Isaiah and so on see this, they're going to be like, man, we thought Israel was bad back in the day. We thought they were big back in the day, but look at this great host coming into the city of the Most High. Drop that fear and strengthen your faith.